after some of the best driving that I've ever done on the carousel, I also managed to hit the wall again, 2 weekends in a row. This time I was chasing really close behind Charlie Tyson and his S14, and I wanted to enter in right on his bumper, which was kind of risky. We're pushing pretty high speeds, and also there's no runoff in that one area. So when I went to initiate, I got the car sideways, but then it basically, I just didn't time it right behind him, and then I ended up straightening up, locking up the wheels, and then getting sit into the grass, and then I just barely grazed the wall, which this fender was already kind of busted. And then I ended up breaking a tie rod shank. So honestly, for all crashes, like I'll take that. I didn't have another one at the track. I do have some spares here, which is what I'll be doing today to get the car operational again. But the tie rod's not bent, coilover's totally fine, control arm's fine, all the other stuff is fine. So, not really that big of a deal. Even the bumper's not cracked. It's just scratched a little bit, and that was actually there before. So, overall, yeah, I mean, I guess that's just kind of what happens when you drive on the limit, and time to just fix it and get out for the rest of the season. And then in the off season, we'll just be getting this car refreshed as well as the 8.6. But until then, we're just gonna keep driving it. And yeah, so going to work on the car. Not one of my favorite things to do, but kind of a necessary evil of drift cars and racing in general. So here's the part that snapped off. As you can see, it just kind of sheared, which it holds right there. It holds the tie rod, which is actually straight. Knuckle is fine. That Fortunato coilover is totally straight. And here's the new rod end. I don't think we need the new rod end. We just need the whatever it's called. We just need the shank. So I don't think we need the new rod end. We just need the shank off of this, and then that'll be good to go. Had to kind of MacGyver something in order to get the car drivable onto the trailer. So I had a long bolt that fit through and did perfectly fine just to get it on the trailer. And that's just something typical that we do at the track in order to get the car home and repaired. But yeah, this is a little bent up as well, but not a big deal. Probably we'll just bend it back out so I can close the hood, and then over maybe in the off season get John to rebuild that section or just leave it as is. But yeah, I mean, we just barely touched the wall. Maybe if it had been drier and not slick on the grass, it might have been okay. But yeah, I actually already have a fender, and this one was wrecked earlier this year because of a crank pulley that separated and caused me to lose my power steering and throw me into the wall at Langley Speedway. So yeah, all in all, I mean, kind of typical, as I said, of drifting. So overall, I mean, this car was overdue for a refresh at the end of the season, which we're not quite there yet. I know a lot of people have posted about that after Irwindale, and the reason I didn't is because we still have another 4 or 5 events to go to, and gonna finish the season strong. So car might not look super strong, but mechanically it's totally fine. It's just cosmetically, it's overdue for a redo from this season. Well, all fixed. Pretty straightforward and simple. And as an added bonus, it even towed out completely fine. So what that means, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is I put some toe plates on just to check the alignment to see if anything had moved after impact, and it really hadn't. So again, it was just that one tie rod shank that broke, and a new one is now in there and secure, and the car is good to drive again. Bent some of the structure that back to where it was supposed to be, so the wheel clears, and yeah, that's just how it's going to be for the rest of the season. So I think up next I have Langley Speedway, and then a Club Loose event, and then a Drift Nirvana Invitational event, and then 100 Drifters of December, and then back to Club Loose. So, and in between that somewhere is PRI. So yeah, got a lot going on. It's kind of funny. I pack in probably somebody's entire season into a few weeks, and that's only the very last part of the year. So as soon as we get my NCR 86 back from the West Coast, we'll be ripping that apart and putting in our new standalone, as well as improving some of the cooling features. So given what happened at Irwindale, I think that warrants a completely new look for next year in terms of body style wise. Not sure what the graphics are going to be. It's all kind of dependent over how the next few weeks go. but I definitely want to have a refreshed, more modern looking 8.6, and yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. So going to be doing that. But the nice part about going into this off season is that the engine package is complete. Everything we're doing now is just upgrading versus starting a new build, whether that's a motor build, suspension build, all that other stuff. We are just taking this year's data and using it to port over for next year's program. So till then, I'll see you soon.